Okay, what? No. Who put a century right there? What's up? Just, doing some important stat work. Hi, and welcome to our project for computer science.
It's not computer science.
Oh, wait, what? This is a computer science?
No, it's stat.
It's stat?
Yeah.
Food. It's pretty important. I mean, it's my favorite thing. It's probably going to be your favorite thing. It's what keeps us running during the day. It introduces us to all sorts of new people, and it can cause us to be spewing on the toilet out of both ends for an ungodly amount of hours. But hey, anything for that golden corral, right? The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service isn't a huge fan of one of those three things. I can't imagine which one. And thankfully, they implemented the, hang on. Restaurant Health Inspection System. Oh, yeah, that's right. The thing that inspects taverns, grocery stores, and daycares for food safety. And restaurants, I guess. For our project, we decided to analyze and interpret all of the data that was provided on Kaggle.com by the City of Chicago regarding all of the food inspections that they've done over the past couple of years. What kind of stuff are we going to look at? Just calm down. We're going to get to it. Now, as with any research project, there are going to be some variables that we consider a bit more important than others. All of our important ones are right here, and all the ones that we decided to discard are going to be right here. Now, we're only going to be focused on all the useful ones right now because really, who wants to focus on all the useless stuff? I mean, come on, we all went through middle school. So, with all that out of the way, let's actually get into the research itself.
So as part of our project, I was actually the one that cleaned the data, and I started out by importing a raw data set in CSV, and I selected everything through inspection ID to longitude. The comments and stuff at the end or the actual names of the facilities were not relevant because they are unique to the particular item. I wrestled a lot with whether or not to include the facility type, but it ended up being useful later on, so I ended up keeping it in. The second thing I did was mess with the time of when the inspection took place. There was an unused section on, rather than it went month, day, year, and then time, and that was unused. So I separated it and I made the month on its own as well. I also mutated the risk to be numerical rather than showing up consistently of whatever risk it was and then in parentheses so that it was a factor. And that is what I did to clean the data.
Now, the first thing I did whenever researching the correlation between risk level and location was make a simple graph of it. Where are all the little clumps of actual risks in the specific areas? And as you can see by the graph here, there's not really much. But it's a graph. Graphs can be misinterpreted. So let's look at the actual numbers, or as I like to call it, nerd stuff. What kind of nerd stuff? Well, we decided to do a multiple regression. Specifically, we decided to do one that's comparing the results versus latitude as a result of longitude, because it's kind of hard to have one without the other, so naturally we decided to do one where latitude and longitude interact with each other. And here's the output of all of it. Yeah, well, let me explain it all for you. So the main number that we're really concerned with here is the multiple r squared, which I'm going to show on screen here because I can't remember. 000625. See, I remembered off the top of my head. Why are you guys doubting me? Now, what does that number actually mean? Well, the long and short of it is about 0.06% of actual quality can be attributed to latitude and longitude, which in layman terms basically says you can't attribute it to it. Now, there's a lot of stipulation behind Chicago in the north side versus the south side, and how there may be a little bit of, let's say, cultural disparities between the two, and one side is more dangerous than the other. Now, in terms of food safety, a lot of people will think that one side is more dangerous than the other. I think it's attributed to a little thing that I like to call racism. Now, what do I mean whenever I poorly edited that in? Well, basically, a lot of people think the south side of Chicago is a bit more dangerous because of the more cultural diversity, and because of the smaller, perhaps less regulated restaurants that are there. However, through our research, we have at least determined for now that there is very little correlation between actual location and results of a food safety inspection. So that's one win for the Southside.
Say hi, Mittens! To look at something other than location correlation, we decided to ask, is the inspection pass-fail rate related to the type of business that was inspected? For example, is a school more likely to fail an inspection than a restaurant? To start, we picked 12 popular business types ranging from grocery stores to gas stations. We filtered results to just pass, pass with conditions, and fail. We then gathered the number of failed inspections per business type and divided that by the total number of inspections, giving us the proportion of failed inspections per business type. Finally, we created a graph of the percentage of inspections that were failed per business type. Interestingly, liquor businesses had the highest rate, failing 40% of inspections. Hospitals had the lowest rate, failing only 15% of inspections, which is really reassuring for hospitals. And restaurants failed 21% of inspections out of about 11,000 inspections. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that if you open a restaurant in Chicago, there's a 20% chance that you'll fail an inspection, but this is an interesting way to see how businesses perform inspection-wise against each other. For someone working at the Chicago Department of Public Health, this would be an interesting way to see which businesses need more attention.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned a little something, and please, go watch my other videos. I'm just kidding you, I don't have any other videos, but who knows? That may change soon. Now, if you guys excuse me, I'm on something big here. You see, I've been perusing online for the past couple of days, and I think I found the answer key for the final that's about to come up. Just open up and see what it says. Ah, come on!